depending on the vowels surrounding them. Okay? Hola aventureros, bienvenidos a Your Spanish Roadmap and this mini fundamental series. I'm Lucia, your Spanish teacher and travel companion through this journey. Today we are going to explore Spanish pronunciation, letters and combinations that can be challenging, but that will make your pronunciation clear and precise. Vale aventureros, learning how to read in Spanish and having a clear pronunciation from the beginning of your journey is crucial. Let me tell you why. Learning a language is not about translating words or memorizing grammar and vocabulary. It is more about the culture, the identity, the personality. When you learn how to pronounce correctly and how to use the language properly, helps you to connect in a more authentic way. You will pick up the language faster if you say it right. You will intuitively begin to know what sounds right, and you will be able to share your story and to express yourself in Spanish. I've also prepared a guidebook that accompanies this entire mini-series and a comprehensive vocabulary builder, both for free in the link below, so don't forget to check it out. Muy bien, let's have a look at the vowels first. In Spanish, we have 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, U. The sound of these vowels are a little bit different than in English, so let's have a look at them. The A in Spanish is like the A in the word cat. A, a, a. It's an open sound. Your mouth opens like this, a. Take the word casa. The E in Spanish sounds like the E in bed, e, e, e. You see? Take the word mesa, e, mesa. Let's see the I. In Spanish, it's similar to the E sound in the word sí, sí. You see, you have to do like a smile. E, E. So repeat after me. E, piso, piso. Okay, let's see the O. The O is a short sound, like in the word for, for. O, O. You see, you have to make a O shape. So, for example, coche, coche. Bien. And the last one, the U, it's like the sound in the word moon. U, 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 u. Let's take the word luna. U, luna. Muy bien. Unlike in English, Spanish vowels are pretty consistent. They will maintain their sound no matter the consonants that surround them. On the other hand, Spanish consonants can change depending on the surrounding letters. For example, when the C is followed by A, O, or U, it has this k sound, like in cat. K. So for example, casa, coche, cucaracha, okay? But if the C is followed by E or I, then the C has this sound, like in the word think in English. For example, cielo, cejas. Although in Latin America and some parts of Spain, this can be pronounced as an S. Cielo, cejas. You get it? What if we want to make the k sound with the E or the I? For example, what if we want to say que or ki? What do we use? Well, we need the letter Q and the vowel U. Now, the Q is always followed by the U. If we have the structure QU plus E or I, then the U is going to be silent. For example, quiero, queso, quirófano, quemar, química. You see? Because if you want to put the QU with the A, O, or U, it doesn't quite work because for that we have the C. Ka, ko, ku. Remember? Perfecto. Let's not get too far from the C and let's explore the sound of the CH. The CH is like in English. It's like the ch, like in chair, chair. Okay, it's easy. So for example, chocolate is chocolate. Noche, coche, mucho. So to follow on, we have the Z. The Z has a th sound, like in think. like the C followed by E or I. For example, zapato, zona, zeta, zurdo. See the sound? In Spanish from Spain, the scent is widely pronounced as the sound th with all the vowels. But in Latin America and some other parts of Spain, the scent actually is pronounced like an S. Let's see now the double L in Spanish, because the L on its own, it works like in English. For example, luz, Lucia, logro, lago. But if you put two L's together, then the sound is a little bit different. In most Spanish-speaking countries, the double L is pronounced as the Y in the word yes. Yes, lluvia, allí, but also depends on where Spanish is spoken. For example, in Argentina, it has this sh sound, like in llegar, allí. Obviously, I'm not Argentinian, so that was just an imitation. Probably very poorly, but that's what it is. My suggestion is that you listen to Spanish speakers from different regions so you can get a feel for the variations. Also, try to mimic the pronunciation that you hear. Focus on listening how native speakers pronounce the words. The same happens with the Y, which in Spanish this letter is called Greek I. Not I as in I, but like Y. The Y is often pronounced like the double L in many regions, like in ya, llama. This phenomenon is called yeísmo, when you pronounce the Y and the double L the same or very similarly. However, the Y can be pronounced like the J in jam, depending on the region. Like allí, yo. Especially for the Y and the double L, it really depends where Spanish is spoken. Now, what about the B for ball in English or the V for victory? They are pronounced the same in Spanish. Both have this soft B sound, like in the word boy. Okay, other examples can be vino, ven, barco, botella, bola. All right, aventureros, before I tell you about my favorite letter, I have to talk about the letter G. Okay, this one is going to change depending on the vowels. If we have A, O, or U, then we're going to have a hard G, like in the word go, g, g, like the word gato, gorro, gusano. But if we have GE or GI, then we have the guttural sound of the G with your throat, like in girar, gemelo, gelatina, gimnasio. I have to tell you another thing about the letter G. It can be followed by an U, and we can have words like guapa, guapo, guante, guay. You see, in these words, we pronounce the U. But what if we have this word? Are we going to say guerra? No. Here, the U is going to be silent. And the U is going to be silent if we have G-U-E, as in guerra. Or if we have G-U-I, as in guisante. Perfecto. Now is the time. Let me tell you about my favorite letter, the J, in Spanish called J. The J is pronounced like the H in the English word hot, but often stronger, like in jamón, Julio, trabajo, and the pronunciation will depend on where Spanish is spoken, because depending on the region, it's going to sound stronger like in jamón or softer, jamón. I don't know if you ever texted a Spanish person, but we actually don't laugh by writing H-A. We actually write J-A, as in ja, as in ha 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 ha. But then, do we even have an H? And if so, how can we pronounce it? The H in Spanish is special because it's always silent, like in hola, hermano, hermana, hombre, helado. One word that almost all my students mispronounce at the beginning is this one. It's not alcohol. Ignore the H. Alcohol. However, when we come across English words or words for other languages that are not native in Spanish, then we do pronounce the H slightly or stronger. For example, Hawaii, hamster. If your name is Hannah, get ready to be called Hannah in Spanish. How do you think we pronounce Harry Potter? Do you think we say Harry? No, we say Harry or Harry, some people say. But how do you pronounce the double R in Harry? I know you were waiting for this moment, so let's have a look at the R in Spanish. Bien, let's start with the soft R. This R is pronounced with a single tap in the area behind your upper teeth, as in like para, amor, partido. See, it's like, this is very exaggerated. Obviously, it's not para, okay? But it's something like, you're just gonna touch it, you're just gonna roll it a little bit, just like mar, pero, pera, mirar, partido, tarea. You see, it's the r sound. Venga, now that strong R, the r sound, which I know that you love it. In English, you don't have this sound, so you need a lot of practice to master it. A fun way to do this is by learning tongue twisters. So I'm gonna leave you here a video where you can go and practice some tongue twisters with me. Anyway, you can clearly identify this r sound because we have two R's together, as in perro, carro, guitarra. And this sound is produced by multiple taps of the tongue, like You can also identify this stronger sound if the R is at the beginning of the word, like in ratón, reina, rojo, rosa. I've put together a video with cool and easy tips where I show you how you can get your R's rolling. So if you want to practice, go and have a look. The pronunciation of the D can also be different depending on its position within the word. We can have a hard sound or a softer sound. If the D is placed at the beginning of a word, we're going to have a hard sound, like in día, domingo, dedo. But you see this last word? Dedo, dedo. The second D is softer because it is between vowels. So when the D is between vowels, it's going to have a softer sound, like in nada, todo, vida. It's also going to have a softer sound at the end of the word, like in Madrid, verdad, ciudad, amistad. Aventureros, becoming comfortable with Spanish sounds is going to improve your Spanish a lot, not only in the speaking, but in the comprehension as well. Trust me, don't skip this part. Spanish pronunciation is generally easier than in English because most of the time, if not always, we are going to pronounce the word as it is spelled. Unlike English, that you have so many irregularities and things like that. Now, let's have a look at a really cool letter that has a special sound and that only Spanish has, and it differentiates it from other languages. It is the letter ñ, the n sound. This letter is not difficult to pronounce. It has this ñ sound, like in niño, año, mañana. You see, ña, ña, araña. A little side note, I don't know if you're curious about this, but I'm going to tell you why we actually have this letter in Spanish. So in Latin, the letter that now represents the ñ was actually a double N or a GN, which eventually merged into ñ. And that little hat that it has, it's called virgulilla. Aventureros, we have just covered the main differences and the difficult sounds. From now on, the rest of the letters are going to be very similar to English. Let's have a look at them. For example, the F sound is the same. Foto, familia, fuego, farola, with the M and the N. Nevar, nieve, nunca, montaña, mano, médico with the S, completely the same, serpiente, sola, sol, sombrero. The T is like in English, but a little bit softer. Tomate, televisión, teléfono. The K is pronounced exactly like in English, but in Spanish, we don't really have a lot of native words that have a K in it, because for that we have the C and the QU sounds. So the words with a K are actually long words, words from English or other languages. For example, ketchup, koala, kilo, kiwi. Last but not least, let me tell you about the X. The X is going to have the same sound as in the word box. X, x. Okay, so for example, examen, éxito, taxi, boxeo. Don't forget to download the free guidebook that I put together for this mini fundamental series and the vocabulary builder, both for free in the link below. Muy bien, aventureros, let me know in the comments how your journey through the Spanish language has been, and feel free to subscribe if you want me to be your travel companion through that journey. Nos vemos en la próxima parada. Seguid practicando. Hasta luego.